hall meeting, breakfast served. I guarantee you have a lot of people.
Can we try that next month?
That costs money.
Well, I got a budget.
Okay.
Maybe we can help and cook or something.
I could probably get maybe a guy down here, right off of, when you go into Scottsdale, that little restaurant. He once before gave us biscuits and sausage and egg and everything. He donated. He might donate. You know, or I could ask Chick-fil-A. Somebody would donate about 50 sandwiches. Some coffee.
For cooking in the kitchen, get a friend of mine to cook a decent southern meal.
But just have a waffle breakfast.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be
You know,
great.
waffles and coffee.
Or even just pastries.
Yeah, or Danish.
Yeah.
Like Danish serve. But that's the only way they're gonna come out. If you have food, they'll be here.
Well, except for bending the mayor's ear about all of our issues, I wonder, it's probably, I could talk with Manuel about some things. I got one thing right off the bat. I gotta say that for as strange as I think some of your activities are in Clarkston, you championing the getting back our citizens' comments,
Yeah.
I greatly appreciate. And I don't know if
That's everybody's right.
I don't know if you have. I don't know that if in between criticisms of you, I've expressed that because
Well, it
maybe
doesn't matter to me. I know I'm right. I know it's the right thing to do.
Well, maybe I should because I believe it's a complicated world, and that even if there's someone who some of his activities you don't like or your policies I don't like, if you do something that I do like, I believe credit should be given. Alex Jones says the same thing.
Yes, right.
He'll take a politician that he actually hates.
Definitely.
And he'll give him credit for something he did right.
That's right.
But I don't hate him. But I'm wondering about other things we can talk about now. I've got one that I came here for, and gosh, what do you know about this playground equipment that went in? Tracy told me how much it cost, $75,000. What do you know about it? The new Milan Park playground equipment.
Just what do you mean by what do we know about it?
Well,
you talking about the
quality
of the material, no? Or are you talking about the price of it?
How do you feel about it?
We've been getting very good feedback from everybody.
Not from everybody.
Well, most of the people we talked to, down to, matter of fact, at the National Night Out, we've got a lot of good comments about the equipment. Some people are not going to like, everybody's not going to like everything. I don't care what you do.
What do you think, what was wrong with the old stuff again?
First of all, the FAR unit was it was breaking up, it was dangerous. The fall area wasn't up to specs, and the state, he said we have to have so much fall area for the kids and all. The one over there by Pavilion 2, the metal was like, you know how metal rusts and it gets little feathers on it? You slide down that thing, you're going to get cut with it. Yeah. And to do all that, to refurbish it, it costs us a pretty penny to get it refurbished.
But not as much as new.
No, not as much as new, but it's better to go ahead and put it new and have another 50 years than be saddled with a lawsuit.
Lawsuits are not good. Do you know where the old stuff went to? It was donated to someone, and they said where it was. It's sitting somewhere.
Well, one of them they wouldn't even give to anybody. I know that, the one on the far end, because it was just too bad. I don't know where the other metal ones were by 2 in.
Did we sell them? Or?
No, we didn't sell them.
Right.
No, we didn't sell them. We had those. They had no seizure type of funds on them. Also, we could have given them away or thrown them away. Either one.
See, the thing is, $75,000 is twice the present value of my house and property all around it. I mean,
Same here.
Go buy a car that's worth more than your house.
I mean, I don't really understand those kind of expenditures. I made a mistake, and I'll be honest about it, of not getting adequate pictures of the old stuff, and just
We got pictures of
looking
old
at
stuff.
it and thinking, what can be fixed here, what can be repaired, and, I've got women saying
I've
that,
always lived with the premise that about stuff in Clarkston, we need to take it down and put new stuff up. I've always been, that's always been my opinion. Most of the stuff in Clarkston was here when I got here, and that's 50 years. 50 years. So, it's time for new. Even though we don't win it, but our economy is, I don't think it's sad like people say it is, because I've been to too many conferences, I've been to too many cities and talked with people, and it's rebounding, but it's rebounding at a snail's pace. So, and now's the time even for the land, now's the time to buy it. We've been pressured all over. Every place I go, that's the first thing they ask us, do we have a land bank? How many cities here have a land bank? Now would be the proper time if you redevelop in your city. Now is the time for you guys, if any property comes up for sale, you need to buy it and accumulate your land bank. That's just like having assets, a bank account in your hand. You can actually dictate what your downtown area or what your city is going to look like.
yeah, I don't know that I was ever opposed to the theory and concept of buying land downtown. Something comes up for sale at a good price, the city scoops it up, they can either resell it
That's
for commercial or...
Yeah.
I'm kicking myself that I didn't go down and look at that equipment. I did.
Well, it's done now.
Yeah, I know.
Chris, so
Let's not
let's
go to
not
that
dwell on it.
rhetoric
It's
here.
done.
But it is done.
Well, it is done, but
It's done.
that doesn't mean that we can't look at it.
You can
discuss it.
You can discuss it and everything.
And we can't say, why was that a priority over other things? And you say,
I don't think
you say
it's
it's your
right.
theory too, that you just need to get new stuff.
Well, that's
you-
always been my theory.
I know, it's always been my theory to repair and refurbish and stretch the life of things as long as you can. Then when you can no longer do that, then you talk about getting
Yeah,
new
but see, there's
stuff.
some things you can't stretch. There's some things that aren't
See, now,
too stretch.
and now we're
You
getting...
have to change it.
Right, and now we're getting into the actual mechanics of the equipment itself, the plastic, the steel. Does it rough? Is it sharp? Can it
They
be,
lick on it,
can
because
it
kids
be,
got it.
right, can it be
taste and
painted
stuff,
with
yeah.
an industrial epoxy or something like that? And I just don't know.
It's all
and,
child
it's,
safe.
and it's all gone now.
Oh, you talking about the old stuff?
Yeah, it's all gone
Yeah, old
now.
stuff,
So I
dangerous.
just, you know,
I wouldn't even get up on it. Matter of fact, when they had the Spirit Day down there, one of the kids on the small slide hurt themselves. Kid hurt themselves on the swings. The swings were actually falling apart, breaking apart, coming up out of the ground. The bottom of the poles were rusting out.
concrete.
None of that to be repaired?
The concrete can be repaired, but why are you going to repair that pole when it's a whole unit? The swings were gone.
See,
some of the brackets and all were broken.
See, I
Poles were
don't...
split.
I don't believe that the old equipment had to go, but I can't prove it. You see the position I'm stuck in, and I'm just frustrated. I just don't believe.
It could have stayed there. We couldn't have touched. We didn't have to. If we hadn't touched it, it could have just stayed right where it's at.
Well,
Yeah.
but you say they're hazards. Kids could have cut himself on the
Exactly.
slide.
That's exactly what it was. It was.
I mean, can you line a slide? Can you,
In the fall area, we had to fix all the fall areas.
Well, what was the old fall area?
But like that with sand in it, you don't remember?
Can they just put some stuff on it?
Well, the filling that they have is rated for it.
It's chopped cedar. Couldn't they have added that to the old one?
Look, I asked them about it. I said, why did you put that down there? And they went through this thing about the regulations and requirements and what it takes. And this is the filling, and they showed me the paper. And the filling said that it was a bona fide authorized filler for kids' playgrounds through the state. That's all I know. Because I wanted the crushed rubber. that I had seen down in Blackshear, but they said it was too expensive. So they got that.
Oh, boy. I don't like Barker. I just don't.
Well, there's a lot of people you don't like, Chris, and there's a lot of people who don't like you. Just that simple. We all ain't got the same likes. We all don't have the same wants and the same needs. You look at one color, you can look at red and see something different than I can see.
I know.
And I'm looking at the same color. That's just the way human
You
beings
can
are.
call it totally subjective, but of all the people that sit there, between you, council people, and Barker, that guy scares me.
I think he scares you because the man's got a lot of knowledge and he's intelligent.
think
He's been out there before.
I think he's blowing money.
No,
And I
believe
don't-
it or not, I can tell you he's not blowing money.
And I think the council is enamored and hoodwinked and
No,
Yes.
and
No.
brainwashed.
you guys
by
would be
the-
surprised. You'd be surprised if you knew. No,
I think we know.
no, you're wrong.
I don't know what else to
You know,
say.
You don't have to
difference,
believe me, but you're wrong.
the difference with likes and dislikes is Clarkston is our home. Our most valuable assets are here in Clarkston and are directly affected by what Barker does. And if he's doing things that we don't like, we need to speak out about it. If he's doing things that should not be done, if he's doing things under the table, if all of you are doing things under the table, we need to know about it, and we need to speak out about it.
I've never accused
You
anyone
know,
of that. because you can't
the
really-
conspiracy theory is just ridiculous sometimes.
What conspiracy theory is that?
Because you're always being suspicious, you know.
Well,
If
the
when
smart
people
man
do
is
something-
always
I always
suspicious.
found out this, if somebody does something wrong, they're gonna get caught. I don't care what.
That's not true.
Well, no, it really, it's actually,
You know
it's,
that.
it's
No,
almost,
it's true.
No, it's
Oh,
not.
yes, it
it's
is.
almost in politics and corruption, and I'm talking generally speaking, it's almost, money under the table is almost never caught.
Right.
Almost never. And that's not what I'm talking about. And I've never, in 12 years in Clarkston, I've never accused anyone of money under the table, to my knowledge.
Well, do you remember?
Because if you do that, I mean, I could set myself up for libel or slander. But what I'm quite sure of is that institutionalized use of public funds, as opposed to the way a business would use funds, I think Clarkston's one big gravy train for contractors.
I think so too.
Well,
I mean,
it's not really. It's not.
is it not possible that you couldn't have paid Rupert
You got-
$10,000
Come on, Chris, you
to
know.
build something really spectacular?
Every time they do something here in the city, you know, I agree with it because I've been trying to get them to adopt a first choice policy. I've got it already drafted and I gave it to them, and nothing's been done about it. You know what I'm talking about when I say
No.
first choice? That means if any contracts are ever issued with public monies, that any professionals that are dealing in that trade will be has the first choice. That's the people you have to pick first.
You know, and that's all good and positive on paper, but the reality of it is Adria didn't rebuild the city website. You don't see Madeline painting around here, and you don't see me getting any carpentry jobs around here. Forget about me, anyone. How many local people does the city deal with? No one. And who
You gotta talk to your council about that.
in the
not
choosing,
me.
well, the council didn't show, only the
If it
mayor
was up
showed.
to me, I would, that's what I told him, I'd have had Billy Mitchell build our website a long time ago.
Yeah, right,
Yeah.
only the mayor showed, you know, and what position how good is Barker gonna feel as more houses get foreclosed, because there's bunches of them around here?
He has nothing to do with house being
No,
foreclosed.
you know what I'm saying. What I'm saying is this, maybe you don't know what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that Madeline getting a paint contract for part of the city hall or something, if she can prove that she's just as good as an outside contractor, could be the difference between her losing her house or not. because I mean, I'm just making this up, hypothetical.
Okay.
Because she could be going into foreclosure and we don't know about it. And she's able to make the payments. She keeps her house till someday if the economy comes around. The point is, empty houses with when the tax base debilitated because of empty foreclosed houses don't do Barker any good in trying to make the city into something that he can be proud of.
You got to remember one thing. Mr. Barker can't do anything. He is ruled by his bosses. He has
I
6
doubt
bosses.
that. But we've
You
already
believe me
had
when I
that
tell you,
discussion.
he has 6 bosses. And he communicates very closely
And I
with 6
believe
bosses.
those 6 bosses kind of say, what should we do, Mr. Barker?
Oh, no, they don't.
What should we do?
It's a
Do
little-
you have any recommendations of this?
No, they
You know,
don't.
it's a moot point, we've already been there before, I'm wondering, this is a good little town hall meeting with 4 of us, you know, but, I don't know, we could talk about other stuff, I'm just kicking myself